Hello everyone and welcome to our Let's Play series of Planescape Torment. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today here in the Apothecary as we talk to Kiln over there. They were a single person before, and then we gave them a horrible potion of separation.
I'm gone.
It wasn't called like that. I think it was called potion of horrible separation.
I'm gone.
It had something about, it was something horrific. But we have talked over here to Bessel. He didn't really have much to say, but Kiln might. This man's face closely resembles Basil Kiln's, which was the guy before, though without the crawling skin and constant subtle formations. Greetings again. The name's Kiln. Need you something? Yeah, I wanted to ask you some questions. I work in the stock room all day, I do. I'm no good for you to ask your questions of. Could I buy something then? You'll have to talk to Basil about that. You will. He handles all sorts of stuff. Okay, I'll go speak with him then. Okay, so he doesn't... Okay, well, that seems pretty simple. Anyway, we need to continue looking for a way to create amnesia. And because we have been pretty much everywhere here, well, we haven't been everywhere. I'm gonna go over here to the Civic Festival. It looks like, I would say, Artkin Curio Galleria. I would say if there's a way to solve that mission, it probably he's here in the fest hall. So we're not gonna talk to these people outside or that Onyx dude or whatever. We're gonna explore the Civic Fest hall. This is a huge area. So let's enjoy the soundtrack and let's have a chat with Jolmy over here. This stern-looking older woman seems to be looking for someone. Her eyes fix upon your face as you approach her. You there, might I have a word with you? Yeah, you're Jolmy, correct? I spoke to your messenger.
Updated my journal.
I am pleased to meet you then. She gives a slight bow. I would make you a somewhat unusual proposal. Yeah, this is the... Yeah, we received the message that asked us to come over here for Jolmy. And she's her. I would make a somewhat unusual proposal, she says. Though you must admit you are an unusual man. I will give you 1,000 copper commons for your permission to kill you. Are you open to discussion on the matter? Well, yeah, but why? Jolmy doesn't bat an eyelash. But why not? I thought it might be an interesting experience. Paying someone for the privilege of murdering them? When I first heard rumors of your existence, how could I resist? So, what is your answer? Shall we discuss the matter in greater detail? One moment. Where did you hear these rumors? Jolmy frowns. One hears all sorts of things in the fast hall. How could one not eventually hear of a man like you? Again, I ask, will you consider my proposal? No. No, I won't. There's multiple reasons why not. One of them is the fact that somebody warned me in the comments that I shouldn't die. And so no, I won't. Farewell. Okay, well, that's that, I guess. I hope it's not marked over here as a quest. Go away, quest! I don't think it is. Okay, so let's... What? Oh, there it is. Let's have a chat with Splinter. This towering man's golden skin sparkles slightly, almost as if it were metallic. Whether it's actual flesh or merely painted on, you cannot tell. He regards you coolly as you approach, giving a respectful bow as you draw near. Welcome to the Civic Fest Hall, traveler. We are Splinter, doorman to Fest Hall and Priest King of Ur. How may we help you? Despite his humble offer to aid, his voice is powerful and commanding, a deep and rumbling sound that resonates throughout the chamber. How can you help me? We do many things in this fine hall, traveler. We answer questions guests might have regarding it, or its inhabitants. We direct both visitors and members of the Society of Sensation alike to the sensoriums, or lecture halls. We also accept new members into the society. Lastly, it is through us that purchases from the Society's vaults are made. Spells, items, and such. So can you show me to the sensoriums? There are two. The public sensorium, where visitors may use the sensory stones for anywhere between 10 and 50 commons, and the private sensorium, where only members of the society are allowed. You can reach neither of them yourself. We must take you there. How could I get into the private sensorium? You must be a member of the Society of Sensation. Might I become one, then, I suppose? In order to join the Society of Sensation, one must be willing and prepared to share their own experiences. 5 are required, 1 for each of the senses. Alternately, one may contribute a single experience that has strong elements from all 5 senses. These must be either new sensations or improvements upon our current stock. Should we find them acceptable, they will be placed into sensory stones, and you, having become a sensate, will be taught the sensory touch. It will allow you to draw others' wounds onto yourself, healing them by accepting their suffering. Yeah, I don't really want that because the game is bugged out, so thank you. No, I suppose not. Yeah, I have another question, I suppose. Also, must be pointed out that there are not only 5 senses. I know that's something a lot of us are taught at a young age. That's complete bullcrap, and it actually just takes a little bit of critical thinking to realize that there are not only 5 senses, and the definition of sense is quite arbitrary. Just look into that. Just Google, there are not only 5 senses, and you'll see the reasons why there are not. If you're interested as to know why there are only 5 senses, or the reasons as to why there are only 5 senses, just Google why there are only 5 senses, and come to your own conclusions. But I've done that, and just thought, yeah, there's more. It's like, what about the sense of balance? Is that not a sense? Is that not a sense? What about the sense of temperature detection? That's not touch. You don't detect temperature with touch. What about pain? That's not touch. That is actually not touch, biologically speaking. Even though you could think it is, but it is not. But there's a lot of them, and just, yeah. Anyway, so, is there somewhere I could rest here? There are lodgings within the fest hall, but only members of the Society of Sensation are permitted to use them. Should you wish to visit them, walk eastwards through the fest hall from here. You will eventually come to them. The clerk there allows sensates into their rooms. Okay, so that's an advantage of being a sensate, I suppose. But I don't really want to share my experiences, so no thank you. It's not very safe. It's not very safe. This lady already was asking us about killing us, so yeah, please not. Are there no other ways to get a room here? You must be a member of the Society of Sensation. Okay, I'm not gonna bluff. I don't think there's need for that. Tell me about the fest hall. The Civic Fest Hall is one of the largest buildings in Sigil, fitting as it is home to the Society of Sensation. I'm growing tired of saying Society of Sensation. It's a lot of S's. The city's largest faction. It holds the sensoriums, lecture halls, training chambers, and such for visitors and members of the society alike. That Oxford comma over there shouldn't be there. Training chambers and such. Maybe it should. Anyway, yeah, so tell me about the training chambers. Those are 3. 1 for warriors, 1 for thieves, and 1 for practitioners of magic. If you would find them, pass through the middle door on the eastern wall, and the door beyond that as well. You will be at the corner of a hallway, along the one that goes east. There are 3 doors along the southern wall. Each door leads to one of the training chambers. Okay, I guess that's that. Tell me about the society. The core of the Sensate's belief is that the multiverse can be only perceived or truly known through the senses, he says. If one cannot sense it, then a thing isn't. Only through experience. Oh, then you can see already the problem with that theory right there, because there's things that you can't sense. There's things that you can only reason. So, yeah. Quantum physics, not a thing. It's not a thing. Because we can't sense it. What, expansion of the universe? Nah, not a thing. We can't sense it. Just not a thing. Oh, you mean a subsonic sound? Nah, not ultraviolet? No, we can't. We can't. What are you saying? The theory of music? No, we can't. This is not a thing. It's just theory of musical theory, I should say. No, that's not a thing. You see the problem with that? Yeah. Anyway, so that's another reason not to join these guys, because they are stupid. Although they do have hot chicks. But that's only for Morte. And besides, we can converse with them, and Morte can do other things at ease without actually joining them. So there we go. Let's see. So, can we truly... Yeah, there is. The Society of Sensation, then, is where experiences gather and are shared with others. Usually via sensoriums. Okay. So, there was someone I was looking for here. Who was it you were looking for, Traveler? Oh, thank you for not being well, should be called a tout, really, because he's very helpful. Merriman? Merriman is usually pacing back and forth around the lecture halls. Travel through the middle door on the eastern wall, and the door beyond that as well. He will likely be wandering within the hall you'll find yourself in. Okay, well, thank you. Is there anyone here who might know about Ravel Puzzle well? Splinter closes his eyes and thinks briefly. We would recommend that you speak to a wizard by the name of Quell about Ravel. Quell is always somewhere in the fest hall, most often in the private sensorium. Okay, well, how could I get into the private sensorium? You must become a member of the Society of Sensation. Oh, but I am a sensate. Really? A true priest king of Ur can see the lies dripping from one's tongue. It is unwise to lie to us, traveler. Well, it was a parody. It was It was a parody. I had another question. I wanted to ask about you. There is little to say that we have not told you. We are the Splinter, Torment, the Fest Hall, demigod son of Izahar, and priest king of Ur. Planewalkers came to our world and told us of the Society of Sensation. We were fascinated and returned with them. We left Ur in the capable hands of our queen so that we might come to this place and experience servitude and humility for a time. As time does not pass here as it does in Ur, the century we have spent here will be as a mere several months in our own world. After another decade or so, we imagine we shall be ready to return to Ur and rule it once more. Okay. I suppose that's okay. Never mind. I'll see you later. Very unhelpful, I would say, all things considered. Although, now that Mertwin. I need to talk to that guy. Now that he spoke about... That last line basically reminded me of why I'm here. And, I wonder if that demigod in the siege tower, actually knows of a way to remove memories. Because it's all about decay and all that sort of stuff, so, yeah, let's have a chat with Mertwin over here. It's clear there's something very wrong with this man. The way he lurches about, bumping into things, staring off blankly into space. As you approach him, you at last realize his plight. He's headless. The thing on his shoulders is merely a skillfully carved wooden prosthesis. A false head. Well, then I guess I should have figured. This must be Mertwin's body. Dakon says, or Mertwin's voice suddenly echoes from within the steel box. Oh, there it is! That's my body! Say there, old chum. Over there. Over here. I forgot about his voice before. The body shuffles towards you, reaching out towards the steel box containing Mertwin's head. Okay, I'm gonna allow Mertwin's body to take his head.
My journal.
Ah, much better. I thank you, good sir. I imagine my body here was getting a bit restless without me. The body hugs the steel box tightly. Yes, I missed you too. The body tucks the case under his arm and bows to you. And as for you, good sir, you certainly deserve some sort of reward for your trouble. Let's see what I got now. And the body fumbles about in its pockets and finding nothing there in its tunic. Finally, it presents you with several handfuls of copper coins. Well, thanks, Mertwin. I had some questions. Certainly, ask whatever you like. How'd you end up the way you are? I am not sure, really. The body set me down in one of the lecture halls, and the next thing I knew, someone had absconded with me. The next thing I remember was being picked up by you. But what I meant was, how'd you lose your head? The body stiffens visibly. Oh, we don't like to talk about it. Quite horrible, really. What's past is past. No need to dredge it up. Though I will say I'm in the box because my head's not quite as presentable as my body, if you get my meaning. Well, I suppose I do. Sure. So, what are you doing here? I mostly amble around the fest hall, you know? Lumber here, lumber there. I'm not a sensate, mind you, but I just like to watch all the different sorts of people milling about. A sensate. The body gently rocks the steel box, nodding the head inside. Sure. Yes, you know, the Society of Sensation. They race around, trying to experience everything, figuring they'll eventually tumble onto some great dark of the multiverse should they keep it up long enough. The body shrugs. Yeah. So can you tell me about this place? Mertwin sounds confused. Doesn't everyone know about the Civic Fest Hall? Well, it's the faction quarters of the Sensates, and perhaps, more importantly, it holds their sensoriums. Tell me about these sensoriums. The doorman here can explain them better than I, sir, but they're chambers that that house many enchanted stones, which in turn hold various experiences and sensations which have been recorded into them. The public sensoriums are often to everyone, though there is a slight fee for their use. The private sensoriums are only open to members of the Society of Sensation. Sensates. Okay. Then, do you know anything about Ravel Puzzlewell? Ravel? Can't say I recall the woman. Is that a woman's name, I suppose? Well, I guess it is. Well, never mind, Mertwin. Farewell. Okay, I think I might want to join the society here. But let's leave that for later. I don't think it's important for right now. Let's also
look. It couldn't hurt you to say a few words to me, Fiendling.
Oh, aye, it could. Hurt you, that is.
Sure. There is nothing hidden behind the bars which adorn the face of this pillar. Why would there be anything hidden behind the bars? Oh, because there's something hidden behind this bar. Well, I can... Or behind these bars, I suppose. Oh, come on, stop doing that. I hate it. I hate it that I can... Just, it's... I don't like it. I don't like it, and it doesn't even make sense. It's just on the enhanced editions of these games. It's... If I left-click my middle mouse button... There's some mice that have this feature. Basically, it zooms in immediately. And if I middle-click... It zooms out. So, very nice. Not really. Anyway, let's learn about this. This is a level 4. Force missiles into spellbook. Yes, yes, yes. Very good, very good. Succeeded in that. I'm pretty sure I can't fail, so that's great. We have confusion over here. I don't want those. We also have remove curse, but we prefer those, or I prefer these. As per the name, causes 1 to 4 creatures plus 1 creature level per level to become confused and unsure of itself. But is there a saving throw? There is a saving throw versus it negates. So, screw that noise. And let's get magic missiles, because we have a place of very great danger in this area. So, let's not mess with that. Over here, what do we have? There's nothing hidden, and there's nothing hidden. That's weird that he tells me that.
Alright.
So, all of these are like that. All of them, without exception. Interesting. Oh, look at that. That one is, for some reason, it's... like that. Why would it be like that? Come on, these are centered. Why isn't that centered as well? Oh, well, whatever. UI designers, right? UI designers, do you know what I mean? Ah, boy. Or I guess designers in general, but yeah, UI designers. Anyway, let's have a chat with Gizzes, the Crooked, over here. This squat, hunched old man still has the broad shoulders and scarred, calloused hands of a worker and a warrior, or a warrior. An aura of weary despair seems to hang about it. He appears to be giving a lecture at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna stay for the lecture. Let's see what he has to say. Right, now listen up. This is the seminar on the war. If you're here to listen about the blood war, oh, that's good. Take root. If you're not, you're in the wrong all, and you'd best ump your soft, comfort-loving Sigillian limber stems out of here. The blood war, says Morte, more boring than listening to a governor recite laws. Let's find some young sensates who need to be indoctrinated in the ways of passion. He waggles eyebrows in anticipation. No, Morte. I want to hear this. The man suddenly throws a dark eye over the audience as if looking for something. And further, if you're a Tanari or Batazu, hump your scaly hides and onto the door. I's not letting you ordinary bastards bend a ear to this and listen to your barmy arguments. That's an interesting... it's an interesting attitude to have. I guess they would argue about what he's gonna say. I don't know. Anyway, because this is no discussion on who's right. Behind you, you hear the sounds of something large leaving the lecture hall. I just tells the blood war from the human point of view. I was not promoting one side or another, because they both stink in different ways. Yeah, it seemed to me like that was the case. Let's keep listening. The speaker becomes somber. So, what's left of your wanting to listen to some blood war stories takes about the war here to hear the horror of it all, no doubt. The floating fortress woven and weaved of human skin, the plains-wide battlegrounds the blood war has be fought on. He bares his yellow teeth. Tales of fiends locking fangs with other fiends. Gar, snar. His snarl fades and he looks suddenly bored. Yeah, come on, stop embellishing. Well, let me peel back your leads and crack your bone boxes. 'Tis all a steaming heap of barmy nonsense to be dwelling on that forge dung. He spits in derision, rolling his eyes widely. I'll tell you this, though. You can't imagine the scale of the blood war is fought on. Nothing you've seen, heard, or participated in. Nothing compares. Time, numbers of legions, sheer bloodshed, nothing compares, Burks. To try and imagine it, forget it. My advice, simple. Stay away from the big bloody mess all over. Oh, all together, not all over. The only thing you need to know is this. Fiends are killing fiends. Batazu are slaughtering Tanari. Tanari are butchering Batazu. Right now, he spits again. Neither winning. Don't think either can win. Biggest stalemate the side of eternity. Thanks, the powers. He's not really saying much. I'm not really liking this thing. That's it, he shrugs. That's it. I'll be answering any questions you got for me. Okay, let's be as snarky as possible. What's your question, Cutter? Well, I guess that wasn't meant to actually talk about the Blood War. So let's go with this. What started the Blood War? You got a right to be curious about what started this big old sodding soupy mess in the first place. What set fiends to locking horns in the first place, hitting and clawing at each other until that was the only reason they were alive. Simple, they met, he sighs. Tanari and Batazu crossed each other one day and like two drunken bigots, they set to fighting. That's simple. Well, nah. Bike that. Imagine two drunken priests who believe each known the only way to leave. Now make these priests ripped with scales and fangs and horns and a cruel streak 7 leagues wide, and put them in a itty-bitty sodding cell, and you have a good idea of the love that can spring forth. And there you have it, the origin of the Blood War. So why are two evil races fighting? One believes evil should be nice and orderly. One believes evil should be... excuse me. Evil should be nice. Evil should be nice. One believes evil should be chaos, running rampant across the plains. Both evil, but doesn't mean they can't agree on anything. Actually, this does explain... This thing over here does explain why... whenever we hear about the lawful evil side of things, they always exaggerate it. They always like, oh, they are the worst. They're worse than everything else, because it doesn't sound like they're the worst. If you can predict what evil is gonna do, then you can play against it easier. Easier. Anyway, bad blood. Each wants to exterminate the other, so only their brand of evil remains. They hate each other like, he wrings his hands together trying to find the right words. You see, they don't hate like we hate. We don't even know what hate is. We have one word for hate. They have, then his voice drops, thousands upon thousands. Their meanings twisted and piled like bodies. That's why they fight. Well, we also have multiple words for hate. We have, jealousy. That's a sort of hate. Well, I suppose some languages will... But the thing is, hate is a very language thing, and actually in Portuguese we have more than one word for that translates as hate. So there we go. But humans don't have just one word for hate. The problem is the way we perceive emotions as hate is very subtle, and this is exactly the thing. Somebody that doesn't. Imagine like a fictional, a mythological race of angels, for example. They're all cool. They love each other. It's all perfect. It's all nice. But they do have one word for hate. But everything else they don't have. Anything that's just like traditionally sinful or anything, just like something that's more of the flesh or whatever. They don't have that. Just have hate. So they will look at humans and say, oh, the humans are terrible because they have all these words for hate. Then we don't. We just have, hate. Just because, that's their language. They would say like, blah, blah, blah. Everything else would be perfectly singing and amazing. And all those words would be beautiful. And then when they say hate, they would be, when they say hate, they would be blah, blah. But yeah, that's the same thing. That's the same exact thing. If you don't speak the language, some words don't get translated. So how does one get hired into the Blood War? Every once in a while, some leather-headed Burke comes around asking about a job in the Blood War. They want some jink, they want a quick stink, and then to get along with their lives. Mayhaps I was one of those leatherheads. Mayhap I was a sellsword, and heard there was a little jink to be made in the war. Got me interested. Taught me a lesson, it did. We're like ants running around the hills of dancing, sod-piked gods. I saw big men who claimed to be big soldiers. He shakes his head. Paper soldiers. War's a furnace for them. Makes them wake up or burn. So how'd you survive the Blood War? The man's face darkens. I Well, that's the one thing I won't speak of, Cutter. Suffice to say, a man does what he has to do to escape the war. Oh, but a woman named Vrashika told me you had to murder your own men to escape the war. The man's face becomes red with anger. Watch your mouth, Cutter! That's a lie. Foul, foul lie. Are you barmy, jawing with a fiend over the war and believing your every word, or believing every word of it? What? Oh, Vrashika was a fiend. Yeah, I was thinking, are you a fiend? No. Oh, well, that's what she told me. I didn't say I took it as a truth. Well, I'll tell you what happened, Burke. He sighs and calms down slightly. I was part of the company of Blazing Effigy. A part of its original number was 53 mortal mercenaries, though only 9 of us remained. Camped somewhere in Avernus, we were, waiting reinforcements for the next battle. Well, my tour was nearly done then. In fact, I was to leave after that battle. The trouble was, had I died there, I would have been theirs forever. Too much blackness, too much evil in their heart. I would have ended up a petitioner in battle, an eternal soldier in the war. He shudders at the thought. What happened? Me and 2 other lads fled like dogs, that's what happened. We skirted across the plains for a handful of days after we came to this great pillar of living heads. An awful sight it was. They jabbed and hissed at us, calling for us to come closer. That night I stole away from the others and went to talk to the pillar. And? Gissis shuts his eyes and rubs his temples. I asked this pillar how I might be freed, how I might escape Bator, and it told me it in exchange for the two of my brothers. Huh. He's quiet for a moment, biting on his knuckles as if fighting back tears. To me, at the time, it was just math. What math? What was math? What? Still sounds like you murdered them to me. He nods. Yeah, not sure if I'll forgive myself. Now I'm just a soldier who's looking for a place to die. Trying to erase the stains of evil. Cleanse my inner gisses after I die and return to the blood war. I lecture here to keep people away from it all. To prevent them from ever having to make a choice like that. Oh, so that explains why he's so flamboyant about all this. Oh, this is terrible. The blood flows freely through the sky. It tints the atmosphere red with its pigments and all that sort of stuff that happens in blood that makes it red. Actually, I think it's iron. Yeah, perhaps I should spread the word around, Gisses. I'm sure people would love to know exactly how you made it through the war. I won't say it was right, Burke, but you can deny it was just about any man, or it was just about any man would have done. I call it survival, not murder. Now leave me be. Old Gisses won't be sharing words with you no longer. Yeah, forget I said anything. Right, this is the last bit then. Some of you are sensates, so as I got one thing to say to you. Don't sign up to see what the Viking Blood War is about. Don't be a barmy idiot. Use a sensory stone if you've got to know, but stay the hells away from anything to do with the Blood War for real. 'Tis just not worth it. 'Tis. For a moment a look of great pain crosses the man's face. It looks as if he was going to weep. Not worth it at all. That's the end of this session. So farewell. Yeah, he's atoning. He is atoning. I said that line because it's just the only option, really.
Done.
But I didn't really read it before I said it. So I said it and I clicked it. But there we go. So that was Gisses, the Crooked. Why is he the Crooked? Oh, can I go back to that? Yeah, I can go back to that. Okay, well, let's ask him more questions next episode, because there's more stuff to learn. Oh, come on, game. There's more stuff to learn about the Blood War. But for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Planescape Torment. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see... Nope, I sometimes say that, but this is a daily series, so like the video if you enjoyed it. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next episode. Bye-bye.